and told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." This is the word of God to the people of God. Thanks be to God.
So let me ask one thing, and who is a church member? How could you get a church membership? You know? Register, yeah. Anyone can come to the church and register as a newcomer, right? So just write down your name and information, that's it, right? The person can be a new church member, especially our church, after taking new member classes for 3 weeks. So it's not difficult, right? You can just register. And here's another question. Who is a disciple of Jesus Christ? How could we be a disciple of Jesus Christ? It's not simple. It needs to have the courage to be a disciple, because becoming disciples are not easy, unlike becoming church members. Church members and disciples are totally different. It could be same person, right? One person could be a church member and disciple at the same time. But if you are a church member, it doesn't guarantee you are a disciple of Jesus Christ. So in the time of Jesus, all of them were not church members, but disciples. Even though their number was so small, they did really powerful ministry and gave impact on the society. If you read the Gospels, their lives were totally changed by Jesus Christ. They became disciples and dedicated to Jesus' ministry as teaching and preaching and healing. How about the church and Christians and here and now? If we look at the number of churches and Christians, it looks really successful, right? So many churches everywhere. You can find so many churches, and you're going to see so many Christians in this world. Especially in U.S. and Korea. We have so many churches and the Christians. If you see you around, you can see many Christians as well. However, many churches and Christians cannot affect to the society. Non-Christians have no expectation, no hope from the church. They do not trust churches and Christians. Why does it happen? What is different from the time of Jesus Christ? So I will talk about why it happened, and the Great Commission in today's passage will explain us how can we change this. And let's talk about more about this situation right now. So even though there are many churches in good standing on the gospel of Jesus Christ, and many churches, including mega churches, preach about cheap gospel, cheap grace. Have you heard about that word, cheap grace? So especially popular broadcast pastors and bestseller pastors invite huge people to church. However, they are selling cheap grapes. And what is cheap grapes here? Cheap grapes means grace of God became like a bulk product in market. Grace of God is devalued by teaching and preaching by those pastors. They reach out to the people by comforting and encouraging people emotionally rather than disciplining them. They focus on rich lives in this world and use business marketing effort to invite more people to their church. So the core of business marketing method is prosperous blessing people's lives in this world. They do not challenge them to confess their sins and talking about salvation without confession. They're like selling tickets to go to heaven. You don't have to have pressure on it. Just come to church. We're going to encourage you. We're going to bless you for your rich life. So just come. If you have a chance to get baptism, it's going to be better. But you don't have to. This is why churches are falling down and losing power now. Church members became consumers. Pastors prepare what consumers want to hear and do not discipline them because they do not like it. Churches can grow in number and budget. However, it is not true church on the foundation of the gospel and discipleship. Church is successful to make church members, but failed to make them disciples. This is why Jesus focused on making disciples in his last words. And making disciples is most important teaching of Jesus for the situation here and now. So what is Jesus teaching about discipleship in this Great Commission today? If you look at verse 20, it says, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded. So Jesus' main point is to teach them God's word to obey. Teaching is very important. However, more important thing is to teach them to obey. Teaching is education, but teaching to obey is discipline. It's totally different. Teaching them to obey means teaching them to live what they learn about. In this discipline, the most important thing to have is obedience. If you don't have obedience, you cannot obey God's word. Because we do not obey what we learn, we cannot be disciplined. Listen, right? If we see Matthew chapter 7, verse 24, as a conclusion of the Sermon on the Mount, it says, therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Into practice is a main focus here. Jesus never expects tearing down or clapping by his preaching or sermons. He wanted the listeners to act out what they learned about from Jesus Christ. And verse 25 says, the rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, yet it didn't fall because it had its foundation on the rock. Because our lives face so many troubles and challenges, such as disasters, sickness, and tests. So many troubles and challenges in our life. We need to build the foundation of the house on the rock. If not, the house will be broken down. If we listen to the preaching, we need to act out. Even though you learn biblical and theological knowledge in the Bible study and teaching and Christian books, if you do not go into practice as disobedience, you cannot be a disciple of Jesus Christ. We need to join worships, Bible studies, retreats, not to know more, but to obey more. If you want to join confirmation class to know about God or knowledge of God, I cannot welcome you because it is not about the knowledge. Confirmation class also is a way to learn how to obey God's word in our lives. That's a confirmation class we're going to do. Then who can be a disciple? Who can build the foundation on the rock? The person who obeys God's word can be a disciple. Obeying and following God's word is not easy. I think Jesus knew this. So God wants us to try to follow and obey God's word again and again. Because we are not perfect. But we need to pursue God's perfections. We as a human being are easily fail to obey because we are so weak at temptations and suffering. God knows us more than us, right? So what does that mean? God wants us to get over step by step. God never expects you guys just cross the mountain at the one time. You can just climb it, right? Climb, climb, climb. Then someday you're gonna. But obeying God's word is still really difficult in our lives. Jesus teaches us in Matthew chapter 5 that if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your coat, give your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go also the 2nd mile. Give to everyone who begs from you, and do not refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you. And verse 44 says, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute. It's a really radical teaching, and it's really, really difficult to follow. Can you guys do this right now? If someone punches you, can you get ready for another punch? Just wait. With no anger, with any emotional impact. Our natural response will be getting angry or punch back. Right? It's a really natural way of our response. But if you are a disciple of Jesus, we need to try to obey Jesus' teaching in our lives. What's going to be the first step of this? At least, just be patient, not to punch back. It's going to be first step to follow Jesus, to obey God's teaching. But it is still almost impossible for us as a human being. This is why here we need the power of the Holy Spirit. We cannot make it by ourselves. Without the power of the Holy Spirit, we cannot win this game. Every moment, that's why we need to ask God to be with us. Especially to the Holy Spirit, we need to ask every moment. If you have temptation, if you have suffering, if you have so many kind of chance to get angry, just ask God to guide me, to comfort me, to be with me. So becoming disciples means trying to obey God's word by the power of the Holy Spirit. When you try it again and again, you're going to be a disciple of Jesus naturally. It's not a certification. If you kind of get training something, oh, I'm a disciple now. No, this is not that way. It's going to be a really natural. Through your life, people will look at your life as a disciple and they will ask you to be like you. You're going to see that? You're going to experience that moment? It's going to be really amazing. If someone comes to you and then, hey, I want to be like you. This is disciple. This is discipleship. This is a path of disciple. Becoming a disciple is the first, and then the second will be making disciples. Knowing God by your head is so limited. Therefore, we need to know God to put it in practice. So how can we act out God's word in our lives? You can listen to God's word and try to act out in our lives, step by step. I say from the small thing. We need to be cared by someone as well. We need someone to check and confirm how to act out God's word in our lives. So Jesus is the best role model how to discipline disciples. Jesus led the 12 disciples in his whole life. He lived with them and taught them God's word and checked how they acted out in their lives. Jesus made a kind of small group to discipline them. Actually, the disciples failed to follow God's word many times and had a doubt about Jesus as a Son of God, even end of the time, even the time of Jesus on the cross. Right? Do you remember that moment? Their lives might fail as the disciples without Jesus' caring and guiding. Because Jesus disciplined them by showing his life. They could be the disciples to make other disciples. So in this world, because of the impact of the cheap grace, there are many non-Christians, not only outside of church, but also in churches as well. That's why I was mentioning in the beginning. Even though they have attended church every week for more than 5 or 10 years, still, they do not know what the gospel is and have no faith at all. This is the situation right now. Even though you praise God in your praise team, you might not a Christian, but a just musician. I don't know. If you just enjoy your worship music, listen to preaching, and learn knowledge of God from the Bible study, it doesn't mean that you are a Christian or disciple. If you just attend church, you are not a Christian nor a disciple. It doesn't guarantee. I, as your pastor, have responsibility to introduce the gospel and help you to have faith as a Christian, right? That's my responsibility. And our teachers, including me, have responsibility to make you a disciple, not only in the church, but also in our lives. High schoolers, especially seniors, you guys have responsibility to show your disciplined life to middle schoolers. That's a mechanism. That's a process how we discipline. This is how we act out God's word in our lives. This is a path of disciples. However, it is so difficult to change our lives because of nature of sin in us. It's really hard. This is why one night worship or a retreat for 3 nights cannot change our lives. Sometimes you kind of misunderstood that, oh, am I changed? Am I transformed by this night, by this moment? But when you come back to your life, you're going to see that really same you. No changes. That's why we need someone to take care of us and to keep checking our faith in our lives, as Jesus did for the disciples. Someone needs to dedicate to check our lives. This is disciples. Only a disciple can discipline others. So every Christian needs to have a spiritual leader, because we need to grow our spiritual. If you have your spiritual leader, you need to make your disciple to take care as well. It's not just one way. I'll say it's kind of flowing. Discipleship is like kind of flowing. If you are receiving, you're going to kind of flowing to others. That's discipline. If you are born in a Christian family, you are at least 12 years old Christian, right? Whether you are true or fake Christian. Then let me ask you some questions. Are you a true Christian who accepted the gospel? If you think you are a Christian, are you a disciple of Jesus Christ? The path of disciple is hard and lonely. The path of disciples is narrow. The path of disciples is tough. That's why not many people want to go this way. This is why Jesus promised us one thing in the end of today's passage. Surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Jesus promised us that Jesus would be with us when we walk on the path of disciples. So Jesus is here today. And Jesus kind of commissioned you here today. Go and make disciples. That's what we need to. Let's pray. God, thank you for giving us a wonderful teaching about how to walk on the path of disciples. In this world, the world is so sinful. Even churches, even Christians, even pastors, they do not follow your words. That's why people do not trust churches. They do not trust Christians. They have no expectation. They have no hope from the church, from the Christians. God, it seems so bad. God, it seems so sad. Because it is something wrong. Because we didn't follow. Because we didn't obey your words in our lives. That's why it is happening here and now. So please, God, help us. Please guide us. And please teach us how can we be disciplined by you, God. So as you commission us, go and make disciples. God, just let us be a disciple first. We want to be your disciple. We want to stand on the right foundation of you. So even there is rains and storms and everything comes, but our house will be there. We'll be standing on the rock. So please help us, God. Please guide us. And also we want to discipline others. As a disciple, we need to discipline. We need to take care of someone. So let us be a disciple first. And let us discipline others as you did. As Jesus did for the disciples. God, I know it is so hard. It is so normal. It is so narrow. It is so tough. Because it is so hard. So please, God, just challenge us to be a disciple of you. Let us. We would like to decide to go. We would like to decide to make disciples as you commissioned us. We need your help. So please be with us. The Holy Spirit, please be with us. Because we cannot make it by ourselves. We need your help. We need your power. We need your guidance. So we're going to wait.